world. And Herb needs a handout.
There you are, sir.
So it's the 7 healers of the world. And this is a class that I did with Angela Harris, who I've spoken about in classes before, who's a master herbalist that I trained with in Las Vegas, who I respect very much. And she did this class called the 7 healers of the world. I'll just go ahead and mention now, I was with my parents yesterday for Memorial Day, and they were guessing what the 7 were, and we decided that there should definitely be 10. So we'll have to redo this and add 3 more. Does anybody have any idea what the 3? Well, does anybody know what the 7 are without looking at them, or some of them? I know you guys have already kind of looked, but has anybody not looked and like have no idea what the 7 are?
I have no idea.
You have no idea? Okay. Do you have any guesses? Can I put you on the spot?
When you say healers, you mean people or food or?
No, the 7 healers of the world are basically these are the 7 things that have been the most used by the most cultures throughout the history of the world for healing.
Oh.
So they're things.
Herbs, for
they could be herbs, they could be foods, they could be things from the earth, things like that. So I won't put you on the spot, but
I'll take a guess. Garlic?
Garlic is one of them.
It is?
Absolutely.
Ooh.
Good job.
Prize.
Olive oil.
Free cookie.
Yeah, free cookies. Elizabeth generously made us raw. They're raw, right? Okay, well, very healthy cookies that taste wonderful, and yeah, you should definitely try them. I had a couple that are really good. So, welcome. Here. Couple handouts.
Okay.
Okay, so we got garlic. What's another one of the 7?
Olive oil.
Olive oil's one. What else? Cayenne. Cayenne pepper.
Turmeric, apple cider.
No. Apple cider vinegar.
Onion.
No.
Sea salt.
Sea salt's one. That's 5. Lemon's 1. That's 6.
Olive oil.
That was already said. One more. Clay, bentonite clay. And we decided that we would add 3. Who just came in? 2? Just 1?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. And the 3 we would add, 1 would be oregano for sure. See, I always talk about oregano. I'm a huge fan of oregano. And there's 2 others we would add. Would anybody have any guesses? Maybe I should give something free if somebody gets it.
Okay.
Yeah. You know what? I'll give somebody a free small bottle of oregano if they can get the other 2.
Herbs.
Okay, Cynthia's already gotten one of them. I'm ignoring you on purpose.
I'd say turmeric and coconut oil.
Oh.
No, it's not.
What would you say?
Turmeric and coconut oil.
Okay, I'm going to give you guys both something. It's aloe vera juice and coconut. And then the oregano. Actually, you got 2 of them. So those are the ones I would definitely add if I was going to round out and have the top 10 healers throughout the world. So we're going to go through this booklet I got is actually from Angela Harris in Las Vegas, and it's actually a 65-page booklet. I printed the first 3 pages of each herb, of each of the 7. So you have the 22-page condensed version. I didn't do the 65-page version because, well, that would cost me like 4 toner cartridges and whatever else. So that took long enough as it is, believe me. But if you want the full version, I can get it for you, but I would just probably have you pay me $15 or $20 or something for it. So if anybody wants the full version, you can get it. So you got the first 3 pages of each one, which is going to give you a lot of information, but it's not going to give you all the different ways the different preparations you can make for each herb and a lot of other information. So like I said, I'll be happy to get that to you. If you got a little thumb drive, I can just give you, I have it on an Adobe Acrobat file. I can just give it to you, just like really quick too.
Oh, darn.
So that's another thing, another way we can do it. You can bring that by any time, doesn't have to be tonight. So, so we're going to go over each of these 7. We're going to talk about the main actions of each of these 7, and then some of the uses that you can have for them. If you have any questions along the way, as always, just ask. Oh, you even brought your thumb drive. Very good. Okay, so the first one is apple cider vinegar. Who here uses apple cider vinegar? Okay, I'd say that's probably a good 3/4 of you. It is hands down one of the most healing foods on the planet, as I could say that about all of these. Paul Bragg, who has started Bragg's apple cider vinegar. Anybody know his story? Like, okay, well he's written a few books. Amazing guy. Does anybody know how old he was when he died?
I think you said 100.
96.
Yeah, somewhere in there. I honestly don't know. I know he's in his 90s. I don't know the exact date. You know how he died?
Body surfing.
Body surfing. Surfing. In his 90s, surfing. So he didn't die of old age. He died in a surfing accident. And it's funny, when I was in Las Vegas, I ran into a guy, similar thing. He was in his 90s, and he was in really good health. He was like in his 90s, just full of energy, looked like he was in his 60s, just looked fantastic. And I said, can you tell us, kind of what your secret is, or what are some of the things you do? And he was just, I avoid this, and I don't eat a lot of processed this and that. And then at the end, he goes, and I've been drinking apple cider vinegar every day for 50 years. Like that was his trump card. It was the apple cider vinegar. So
What's the minimum to be effective?
I'd say a teaspoon.
A day, that's all you need.
Yeah, a teaspoon a day is all you need to be effective. I recommend a tablespoon once to twice a day before meals is fantastic. How you doing? Come on in. Here. But let's look at some of the properties of apple cider vinegar and why is it so amazing. One of the reasons, we know apples are fantastic for us, but why all the hype about apple cider vinegar? Well, it's the fermentation process that brings out a lot of the beneficial properties and nutrients in apple cider vinegar. Because all apple cider vinegar is fermented apples, right? That's all it is, fermented apples. Hippocrates wrote about it and he used it, which most of these things we'll talk about have been used throughout history, written about by ancient peoples. One of the things that happens when it's fermented is it just really brings out the nutrient content. It makes it a much more denser product nutrient-wise. So a lot of the minerals comes out, a lot of purification effects come out. Almost all of these things we're going to talk about tonight, but especially the apple cider vinegar is really good on the circulatory system and also the liver and gallbladder area. Almost every one of these is a bile flow stimulant, which is very important for digestion and for overall health. We do apples. If anybody's done the flushes with the malic acid powder or the apple juice, it's the malic acid content of that is the beneficial part of that breaks down the stones in the body, that eats up uric acid in the body when we have acidic conditions. When we eat too much sugar, when we eat too much meat, that uric acid buildup, it's the malic acid that breaks that down. Okay? So apples, cherries, things like that are very high in malic acid, but apple cider vinegar, probably the best. It's more concentrated in the apple cider vinegar. So amazing for arthritis conditions, amazing for gout. The uric acid, anybody know anybody who's had gout? Miserable.
Beer drinkers.
Very, very sharp pains. Yeah, beer drinkers. Meat. Yeah, if you're a big beer drinker and meat eater, eventually you're going to develop gout, most likely. But the apple cider vinegar is an excellent remedy for that because of the malic acid content and the way it breaks up those uric acid crystals. Purification, amazing purifier. Blood purifier, lowers cholesterol, lowers bad cholesterol, increases good cholesterol, normalizes blood pressure as well. Excellent for varicose veins and circulation as well. One of the things I use it for a lot, when I recommend it to people, is the digestive benefits. Got acid reflux, heartburn, anything like that. I mean, it literally can take care of it in and of itself. I mean, people take over-the-counter antacid medications for years and years and years, and it destroys and breaks down the body. And all you need to do is put something amazing in your body like apple cider vinegar. That's it. It's as simple as that. That will often fix that problem. Hi, you can come on in and have a seat. I think I'm out of handout, so I might have to get you one afterwards. I'm sorry. Or if there's two people that can maybe share one, so she could have one, that'd be great. But thanks, Elizabeth. Here you go.
Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, digestion, amazing, amazing, amazing. So a tablespoon before a meal is great. One of the biggest misconceptions when it comes to digestion is that we have an overly acidic stomach, so we take antacids. It's the opposite. We don't have enough stomach acid, most people, because we eat a lot of meat, and we're not lions, and we don't produce enough hydrochloric acid. So the apple cider vinegar gives us the extra acidity we need to break down and digest those foods. So especially if you're a meat eater, I can tell it's hot, so I'm going to open these windows. But especially if you're a meat eater, apple cider vinegar is amazing. And so is cayenne pepper, as we'll talk more about for that purpose.
But if you just buy it in the store, is it like processed? So that
Apple cider vinegar?
Yeah.
You want to get Bragg's.
Okay.
There's another brand called, I don't know if they have it here though, it's called Solano? Solano, anybody heard of that? Solano Gold? Maybe that was just a West Coast thing.
I think it's double G, Bragg, B-R-A-G-G-S.
Yeah, Bragg's, B-R-A-G-G-S. Just get Bragg's apple cider vinegar with the mother, with the mother, with the mother. The mother's the key part. That's the brown, gunky junk that's floating around at the bottom that you're like, ooh, what's that weird, gross stuff?
Not
Okay.
M-O-T-H-E-R, is it M-U-T-H-E-R?
Mother, like mother, like
It is
mom.
mother.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, on
Yeah.
page 2 there.
So a couple other great things about apple cider vinegar. It's excellent for allergies. It's great for coughs and sore throats. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Laryngitis, gargle it. It'll make it go away. Strep throat, gargle it. It'll make it go away. You get mucus buildup on your throat, you gargle apple cider vinegar, it'll pull all that mucus off your throat and the sore throat will be gone. Okay. The other thing it's very good for is athlete's foot. Okay, so fungal conditions, soaking your feet in it. It'll relieve itching. It's excellent for that as well. Muscle cramps, very, very high in minerals. Apple cider vinegar is very, very high in minerals. So it will help with cramping, muscle function, nerve function as well.
Restless leg.
Restless leg, it would help with that as well. Absolutely.
For ear
So-
infections, can you put it in directly in your ear or just digest it?
No, you can put it in your ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's other things I think that are better for that. When we get to olive oil and garlic and things like that are better for in the ear than apple cider vinegar, in my opinion. So let's see, we talked about the digestive aid, cleansing and circulation. So another thing with the cardiovascular system is it helps remove the arterial plaque buildup inside the veins and arteries.
Do you get more benefit if you use more?
I would not. I have known people that have gout, the really bad gout, which you're in severe pain, and they would do like more than a cup of it a day.
Whoa.
Which I know you're all cringing because apple cider vinegar is really powerful. So that's why I say a tablespoon twice a day. It's a good amount. It's a good amount. It's great for salad dressing. You can dilute it in water, add some lemon.
You can put almost everything in here in a salad dressing.
Totally. Yeah. You can mix all this stuff together and make a salad dressing. Actually, Bragg's, speaking of Bragg's, they have a salad dressing that is apple cider vinegar, olive oil. The one I have is sesame and ginger. It tastes amazing, and you can buy it at Whole Foods. It's got garlic in it.
So if you make a salad dressing out of it, it doesn't take away the efficacy of it?
Not at all. Not at all. The only thing that take away the efficacy of it is heating it, and there's really not a lot of reasons you'd ever heat apple cider vinegar. So
you're saying if you drink, like you said, those people that take it for granted, if the average person drinks about a glass or a cupful, that will create burning?
not at all.
Because I've tried it several times, and every time it's like I've got ulcers. And immediately it just
Right.
burns.
Then you need to start with a smaller amount and work your way up, because there's something going on in your digestive tract that's not agreeing with that. It's probably healing something. So you want to start with a very small amount and work your way up. Yeah. Yeah, because I'm not saying it's not possible, but I've never met someone that had an allergy or a food sensitivity or an intolerance to apple cider vinegar. So it's probably
So
doing
watered
something.
down with-
Yeah, I would dilute it with water,
okay.
right? And just start with small amounts and just build up over time. Would be the way to do it, absolutely. Tom?
Would you apply it topically?
Yeah, absolutely you can. Yeah, you can apply it topically for burns, for wound healing, for all different types of things. I think that's listed in here.
I don't know if I put.
First aid.
Yeah, do you guys have the page on preparations and remedies?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so gargle mouthwash, acid reflux we talked about, sunburn. Okay, it's great for sunburns as well.
So how long if you take it as a drink will you see effects?
How long before you see effects?
Before you
Depends on what effect you're trying to see. Everybody wants to feel an effect. I always tell people you eat carrots every day because they're good for you. What kind of effect do you feel from them? Now, if you have acid reflux or heartburn, you'll have an effect the first time you take it. You know, so it depends on what your goal is in taking it. If it's just taking it for long-term health, take it every day the rest of your life. You know, you don't necessarily have to feel an effect from it, but you're going to get lots of effects from it. There's no doubt about it.
Is it good for lowering your glucose levels, your blood sugar levels?
It does balance blood sugar as well. Yep. Now there's things, we'll get to that are better for that. But apple cider vinegar will assist with that as well. So the next one's cayenne. You probably talk about cayenne more than anything else because it's one of my favorites. And this is just, man, this, of the 7, this is probably hands down my favorite. It's like the cure-all. If anybody's really interested in all the benefits of cayenne pepper, I have a 29-page article that lists pretty much every health condition and exactly how cayenne helps assist that condition. I mean, it's amazing, amazing stuff. Absolutely something that should be in everybody's first aid kit, like an herbal first aid kit, because it will immediately stop a heart attack or a stroke. It will immediately pull somebody out of that condition. Dr. Christopher was an herbalist, but also a medical doctor, and he claimed he never ever lost anyone from a heart attack by using cayenne pepper. It works immediately. That actually happened at the store I worked at in Las Vegas. Somebody had a heart attack in the store, put liquid cayenne under his cayenne under his tongue, and he came to, and he actually was up on his feet before the ambulance arrived, and we asked if he wanted to go to the hospital, and he said, no, I'm fine. He said, no, I'm fine, and he actually went home. He did not even go to the hospital.
Wasn't he kind of purplish prior to?
Oh, at first? Oh, yeah, oh, yeah, oh, yeah.
When was that?
That would have been about 6 years ago.
Yeah, I would say.
Really? That's interesting. Yes?
Is there a big difference between the liquid and the powder form?
Yes and no. The liquid form is the best form to use immediately if you were talking about an emergency situation, a heart attack or a stroke or something like that. Immediately gets into the cardiovascular system, into the bloodstream, and it's going to have a much quicker effect. But they're both great, and obviously in an emergency you'd use either one. You know, but they're both great. The liquid one's definitely stronger, so you can use less. The powder one is great because you can just mix it in water, drink it, throw it in drinks, throw it in smoothies, you know, however you want to do it.
With regular use, can you be guaranteed and not have a heart attack? Will it prevent a heart attack?
Do I guarantee that? Of course I'm not going to guarantee that.
Regular use, though. You know, use it religiously. Would you?
I would say there's a 99% chance that you would not have a heart attack if you did cayenne pepper and or magnesium on a regular basis.
I'm on it.
Yeah. I think whenever I talk about the heart, I talk about cayenne and I talk about magnesium. And if we did those two things, we would pretty much eliminate heart attacks. Now, I'm not saying we'd eliminate cardiovascular disease, okay, because people still don't eat right and they're too stressed out, and it's still America.
Yeah.
You know, but there's a lot of things we can do to really help us and prevent. Yeah, absolutely. So this is an amazing thing. You mentioned blood sugar balance. Cayenne's amazing for balancing blood sugar. But some of the main actions of cayenne would be, first one is the circulation. Okay, the circulation benefits. The second one would be digestive aid. Amazing digestive stimulant. Third one is the fact that it stimulates the body. It stimulates function and action of the entire body system, specifically the nervous system. Why cayenne pepper is so amazing? Because it stimulates the nervous system, which is the central system to our entire body. Literally heals everything in our body. by taking cayenne pepper.
What's the
Starts
minimum?
with the heart and the cardiovascular system, and then spreads out to the entire rest of the body. Yeah.
Minimum per day that you need.
Minimum per day? Oh, I don't know. Let me.
Okay, sorry.
I don't know. I don't know if I can put a number on it. We'll talk more about it, and if you still have the question, ask after. Analgesic, so it's an instant pain reliever. Excellent for arthritic conditions. Mucus decongestant, amazing in this area. You got mucus in your lungs, you got a cold, you got a sore throat, cayenne's amazing. There's a quick little recipe, I don't know if it's on your sheet, but a quick little recipe for an amazing cough syrup. It's just water, cayenne pepper, lemon, and a little bit of honey. The honey coats the throat, the lemon and the cayenne break up all the mucus and the congestion and relieves the sore throat. And that's, again, these are things most people have in their house, and you can just mix up in a minute.
So you do them separately, coat first, or you? just
No, mix them all together.
Honey and lemon.
Yep, honey, lemon, cayenne pepper, and water.
So that also help with, because I have diabetic neuropathy.
Oh my gosh, amazing for diabetic neuropathy.
Really?
Absolutely. Because it's circulation.
Right,
You know, you lose circulation in your feet.
right.
So cayenne pepper is the best thing you can take for that. Best thing. Yeah, there's other things, but cayenne pepper, wow, it works phenomenal. So heart and circulation. This is why Dr. Christopher used it so much, because of the benefits of the heart. Excellent preventative for the heart.
Did you skip over tumors?
What's that?
Did you skip over the cancer tumors? Yeah.
Well, I'm probably going to skip over a lot of stuff because there's a lot to talk about.
Well, cancer's a big thing.
Totally is. I mean, really, any of these things are going to be beneficial for cancer. It's one of the reasons it's beneficial for cancer is because it cleanses the blood and increases the circulation. Okay, so most cancers, unless it's a cancer of the lymphatic system, most cancers are connected to a blood supply. So anytime you can cleanse and purify the blood, you're going to reverse cancer. Okay, so that's one of the reasons cayenne pepper is so great for cancer. Okay. So history, I think this is in here. I just think it's interesting. Cayenne was actually referenced in the tombs of Egypt. It's been cultivated all over Africa, India, other tropical areas. Also very highly used in Ayurvedic medicine in India, which Ayurveda and TCM, traditional Chinese medicine, are the oldest systems of medicine in the world. The Native Americans were well known to use lots and lots of cayenne pepper. And introduced to Europe by Columbus on his return trip from the Americas. So, so let me talk about digestion real quick.
Can I ask you one question about, up here it says something about nosebleeds.
Yep.
So how do you use it for nosebleeds?
Well,
Snort it.
you actually can. You actually can snort it. I would probably just take some in water. It'll actually stop internal bleeding, regardless of where that internal bleeding is, by mixing like a teaspoon in a glass of water and drinking it. Okay? So if you have some kind of internal bleeding, you can take cayenne internally. It heals it, but what it does immediately, for lack of a better term, is it cauterizes it. You guys know what the term cauterize means. It immediately cauterizes the wound. Okay, that's why you can use cayenne pepper externally on a bleeding wound, and it will immediately stop the bleeding. Immediately stop the bleeding on an open wound.
Does it burn like that?
It does not burn. In fact, it will, if you're in severe pain from a cut, it'll reduce the pain. It's a natural pain reliever. It's antiseptic, so it'll knock out any infection. It'll keep it from getting infected, and it'll immediately stop the bleeding of the wound. Okay, I've told the story a couple of times before. If you've been to classes before, I've talked about cayenne pepper. Of the emergency crew in Utah. Anybody hear me tell that story? Maybe only a couple of you. Paramedics in Utah responded to a call where a guy almost completely severed his arm with a chainsaw. And his friend heard about cayenne pepper somewhere, went inside, grabbed the whole jar of cayenne pepper and literally dumped it on the guy's arm. The paramedics showed up and freaked out, said, "What are you doing? I mean, this guy is going to lose his arm. Are you insane?" Took the guy to the hospital. Paramedics later called his friend and said, "You probably saved his arm." And ever since then, the paramedics would carry cayenne pepper around with them.
Wow.
Yeah, immediate, can stop hemorrhaging and bleeding.
How do you use it to wean children off breastfeeding?
I don't know, I saw that for Native Americans. I don't know, that's if you experiment with that one, let me know. That kid's not going to be your friend anymore. Yeah. What's that?
Is there any certain type of cayenne peppers? All these cayenne peppers, cayenne pepper?
Well, no, it's the cayenne anum. It's the specific cayenne pepper, because there's a lot of different, obviously, peppers in the pepper family. There's African bird's eye, which is the 180,000 heat unit one, which is the really, really hot cayenne. I don't have that one, I just have the regular cayenne. But you want to be careful with cayenne, because when you go to the store and you buy cayenne pepper, a lot of times it's a combination of a poor quality cayenne and like paprika. And you're really not getting a lot of cayenne, and you're definitely not getting high quality cayenne. So if you want all the medicinal properties you're talking about here, get it from a good herb shop. Don't just trust what you're buying at the grocery store. And that's with any herb if you want to use it medicinally. Now you want to buy some cayenne or oregano to throw on your pizza or something, you don't care, whatever, you know. But if you want the sincere medicinal benefits and qualities, get a good quality one from a good herbs shop who knows their source of their herbs.
Can you suggest a brand?
Huh?
Can you suggest a brand?
The bulk one I have, obviously, is a really good one if you just want the powder form. I really like the cedar bear stuff, which we did a class a couple weeks ago where we all did. Who tried the cayenne from cedar bear? It was good, wasn't it? Yeah, it's so good. So the liquid cayenne in that form is really good. Anything from Dr. Christopher's good, because he was a huge fan of cayenne, so he's big on having quality sources. So any Dr. Christopher's products I'd also recommend. And the other thing with that being mentioned, sorry, we're going to skip around a lot tonight, and that's okay, but since we're talking about cayenne pepper and herbs and formulas, the other thing you'll find is you'll find cayenne pepper in almost, I don't want to say all, but you'll find them in lots and lots and lots of herbal formulas. The reason is because cayenne is so amazing with circulation that it gets all the herbs and everything in the formula you're taking to your body and where it needs to go. So it's a catalyst. Okay, so you'll see it very often used as the last ingredient in a lot of herbal formulas for that catalytic effect. And you'll see that with ginger as well too. You'll see ginger in a lot of formulas too, because it's also a catalyst. Works very well throughout the whole body. Do you have a
What
question?
is your opinion about cool cayenne?
I'm not a big fan. Now that being said, if that's the only way you can take cayenne pepper, it's better to take the cool cayenne than to not take cayenne pepper at all. But removing the heat from it is removing most of these benefits we're talking about here. Okay? It's the stimulating, heating, circulatory effect of the cayenne. That's where the magic is. So people take cool cayenne because a lot of people have sensitivities to taking cayenne pepper. It upsets their stomach. That is the sign of a problematic digestive tract. You know, there's people in other cultures that eat pepper after pepper after pepper. If you talk to anybody from India or Mexico, they eat peppers in everything. Okay, and they have super, super strong digestion. Super strong digestion. No stomach cancer in their culture. So yeah, if you have an intolerance to cayenne, same thing like we talked about the apple cider vinegar, you might want to start really slow. Even start with the cool cayenne, start slow and work your way up. Build your way up on
They give it to the babies.
What's that?
They start giving it to the babies. And
I believe it.
I've known people that do that.
Really?
And they started with their babies, little copies of it. And
Yeah.
and working.
That's cool. So,
Fine.
alright, so yes.
Does the heat units matter? How much?
You know, I'm not big on the heat units. Not to get too much into that, but if it's a standardized product, they're going to be able to measure the heat units. 30,000, 40,000, 50,000, 80,000, 160,000. They're not going to be able to measure that unless it's standardized. Okay, if you grew a cayenne pepper plant at your home, and one in the garden and one in your front yard, and then you measured the heat units of each of the Scoville units, they're called. Each of those plants, because the growing environment is going to have a different rating. Okay, I'm a fan of whole plant-based extracts So not standardizing, not altering the plant. Okay, so like the cayenne pepper I have in there, it's going to range from 30,000 to 60,000 heat units depending on that crop. There's no way to know exactly. So I don't put too much into that because, like I said, to measure it exactly, you'd have to standardize it, and I'm not a fan of that. Does that answer your question?
Kind of, but is it better to have higher or?
Not necessarily. No,
Okay.
no, not necessarily. No. I mean, if you really want to go crazy and do the African bird's eye 180,000, I really don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's necessary. I think the quality is what's important.
Okay.
So get a good quality cayenne pepper, 40, 50,000 heat units, it's going to do all of this and more. So you are good. Real quick on digestion. It's great before a meal, again, especially for meat eaters, because it stimulates hydrochloric acid production. And we don't produce enough hydrochloric acid if you're a big meat eater. So it's going to weaken your digestion over time. So that is really helpful before eating big meals like you might have eaten on Memorial Day. You wish you would have had some cayenne pepper. But cayenne pepper is great for digestion. I make a formula in there that I have great success with. It's called Digestive Fire. And I use fresh garlic, fresh ginger, cayenne pepper, turmeric, and horseradish. And you take, some people are saying yuck, and some people are saying yum. I love that. You take like a quarter teaspoon before meals, and I'm telling you, I had this one kid, I'll give it as an example. He came in here, he just random search for like herbalist in Kansas City on the internet. Somehow he found me. And he's been to 4 different doctors, gastroenterologists, trying to figure out what's going on with his gut. You know, why can't he eat foods? Why is he having all these acid reflux and heartburn? 4 different doctors. Like, I thought I'd try the herbal thing. So he came over. I gave him this Digestive Fire stuff with those herbs in it I mentioned. And he called me a week later. He's like, all my problems are gone. He's like, I have no problem. And we didn't even talk about, hey, you need to stop eating McDonald's and all that. You know, he probably wasn't going to do that, so that's cool. You know, I just wanted to help him out. So he called me back and he's like, can you make me up like a big old vat of that stuff? So I make him like these big 8-ounce containers of it now. It's hilarious. But the stuff works really well. And, you know, those herbs are cheap. That's the great thing about these 7 healers is none of this stuff is going to break the pocketbook, man. You know, all this stuff is super duper duper cheap. In that formula, the way I make it is I use fresh ginger, fresh garlic. Okay, so in other words, I take the fresh and I put it in a food processor. And then I add cayenne powder, horseradish powder, and turmeric powder.
Ginger, garlic, cayenne.
Horseradish.
Powder. Where do you
Equal
get that?
proportions?
No, I can give you guys the formula afterwards if you want to know exactly. Of course, I'm a guy, I don't measure a lot, so I'll warn you up front. And then, because it was so hot and it had so much bite to it, my dad actually had the brilliant idea to add maca to it. Maca offsets it a little bit. It's got a kind of a sweet butterscotchy taste. And what the maca did was amazing. It made it palatable when you consume it, but then 30 seconds later it hits the back of your throat and it does the job. So it ended up being a perfect blend. Like, I should like go commercial with this stuff, man. But
What's maca good for?
maca? Maca is a Peruvian root vegetable. It's complete protein, lots of amino acids. It's been used for hormone balancing, and it increases testosterone production in women that balances hormone use for infertility. We could go on forever. Maca is an amazing, amazing food. But it's a vegetable, very nutrient-dense food. So it's a good addition.
Could you mix the Digestive Fire with the apple cider vinegar?
I don't see why not. Yeah, I don't see why not. Yeah, like take the Digestive Fire and put it in apple cider vinegar and stir it and drink it?
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, I don't see any reason why not. That's a good idea, man. And I'm telling you, you do more of this stuff, you get used to it. You really do. In the wintertime or anytime you're cold, I know it sounds crazy, but take a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, stir it in a glass of water and drink it. Oh, you'll be warm real fast. You'll be warm real fast.
So far, we've talked about the vinegar and and the cayenne.
Yes.
Both good for digestion.
Yes.
Would you take both of those before a meal?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. yeah, like he said, you know, do the Digestive Fire with those herbs and some apple cider vinegar. And if you have a digestive problem after that, let me know about it, because I'm going to need to write up a case study or something. Because you should not have any digestive problems if you're doing those things at all.
How do you spell Maca?
Maca? M-A-C-A. Okay, so cayenne. What else, man? Cayenne is awesome. Inflammation, arthritis, rheumatism. Oh, here's a funny story. In the wintertime, you can put it like in between your socks and your shoes when you go out to keep your toes warm. If you go snow skiing or something like that. I did that one time. Unfortunately, what I did is I put the cayenne inside my socks, which was totally fine, which wasn't a big deal when you're out, you know, doing whatever. But then I forgot that I had it in there, and I went and played volleyball. And when you play sports, sometimes you sweat, sometimes your feet sweat, and you mix sweat with cayenne pepper, very bad combination. I was literally in agony. My feet burned so bad. So don't make that mistake. Let's see. Let me just make sure I don't miss anything on cayenne. Decongestion, I just can't tell you again how amazing that is. You guys know about the Master Cleanse, right? The lemon, cayenne pepper, and maple syrup. David Wolf did an upgrade to the Master Cleanse, which I updated on my sheet, so if anybody wants to cleanse, it's a great thing to do. Takes out the maple syrup because we don't need the sugar. It gives you the amazing benefits of the lemon and the cayenne pepper, but he adds some detoxification nutrients like the fulvic acids, the MSM, the zeolites, things to detox and cleanse your body, and adds juicing, vegetable juices, for your energy and for your fuel instead of the sugar. So it's a great, if anybody wants that, I can give it to you afterwards. It's still toasty in here. So let's see. Let me just read this real quick because I think it's interesting about heart and the cardiovascular system. It gives the system a lift by stimulating the heart, enhancing circulation without raising blood pressure. It actually will adjust itself to normal. So you want to normalize blood pressure? Cayenne's a cheap, easy way to do that. Pulse rate will not get faster, but each beat of the heart is given more power. Cayenne influences the heart immediately. Then it gradually extends its effects, feeding, restoring the elasticity, healing ulcers and cell structure of the walls and arteries, veins, and capillaries. It strengthens the heart muscles. In emergency situations, it's used to stimulate the heart muscle, restore circulation, normalize blood pressure, works to prevent strokes and heart attacks, and will bring one quickly out of shock. Okay? Significantly lowers serum cholesterol and triglycerides, improves the ratio of HDL to LDL, and reduces the risk of heart disease. Here's another thing that people might be interested. Weight. By increasing circulation, cayenne will raise your metabolic rate of the body. It'll increase your metabolism. It stimulates the liver, so it heals the liver, and decreases fat deposits in the liver that are caused by a high-fat diet. So those are just a couple other bonuses. Yeah, and here's the thing I had mentioned about the powder when you buy it in the grocery store. Paprika, which is Hungarian pepper, is often found in cayenne pepper in grocery stores. So you got to be careful. Just like I've mentioned in the past when I've talked on classes about oregano, a lot of times you go to the store and buy oregano and you're getting marjoram or some other herb. You're not even getting oregano because oregano is more expensive. So they'll kind of mix and match some stuff, and you don't know the difference, right? Just the consumer.
If you look on the ingredients though, on the label, will it tell you?
A lot of times it won't.
It won't.
Because a lot of times by FDA standards, if it has X percentage of whatever in it, you can call it 100%. There's all kinds of ways people get around that kind of stuff. So
Does paprika have any benefits?
Paprika does. It's not near as strong as cayenne. It's about a sixth of the power of cayenne pepper. I honestly don't know a lot about paprika.
So what we want to definitely do is first four that you listed on this first page, because the rest are listed under there that we just talked about, paprika and bell pepper.
Yeah, all peppers are good for you, but it's specifically the kind. I mean, jalapeno pepper, habanero peppers. I mean, you're going to get benefits from all that, but all the research, the studies, the medicinal properties known are all studied using the cayenne. that specific pepper. Okay. I think we can go on here to clay. Okay, so bentonite clay. Now there's a lot of different types of clay. When I talk about clay, I always talk about bentonite clay. But the main benefit of the clay is the drawing power, the absorbing power. Okay, it'll pull toxins, poisons, pesticides, herbicides, heavy metals, bacteria, fungus, parasites, all those kind of things. When it goes through the body, it's called like a sponge absorbs. AB absorbs, right? Okay, so a sponge absorbent. Clay adsorbs. AD. It means things are attracted to it like a magnet. Okay, so we've talked in class before about like alkalinity. Okay, alkaline versus acidity. Things that are acidic or damaging to our bodies have a positive charge to them. Okay, a lot of people look at me like I'm crazy, and a lot of people, you know what I'm talking about, but positively charged things in our environment are bad for us. So parasites, fungus, herbicides, pesticides, contaminants, all those things are positively charged. Okay, so when you consume something that has a negative charge, it offsets that and pulls those things out of the body. Clay is one of the things that does that. That's why you got to drink good water and minerals and greens and all those negatively charged things that eradicate those positively charged organisms in our body. But the clay is one of the best for that. So it adsorbs toxins and contaminants. They're drawn to it. They stick on it like a magnet. They can't let go, and just flushes them out of the system.
How do you take it?
You can take the powder and just mix it in water and drink it, but that clumps up and it's weird. So you can buy the, I have the liquid clay, and it's just a 3% solution, and it just mixes up in water. A lot of people will do it for colon cleansing. A good drink to drink in the morning is a tablespoon of clay, a tablespoon of fiber, some apple cider vinegar, and some lemon. That's a great morning drink. You get your fiber, you get your clay. The clay is high in nutrients. Anybody ever see the Discovery Channel special called The Dirt Eaters? Am I the only one that saw The Dirt Eaters? It was about this tribe in Africa, and the main staple of their diet was mud. They literally ate mud, but it was so rich in nutrients. You know, everybody's heard about the child, or even the pregnant woman who's like craving dirt.
When I was anemic, I craved.
Did you?
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah, so minerals.
Yeah.
Mineral deficiencies.
When Haiti was actually a lot of the children. And
What's that? Say again?
after Haiti, earthquake, a lot of the children and peasants, because they didn't have food supply, was eating
Oh wow, I believe it. I believe it.
to get the nutrients out of the
Yeah,
soil.
that makes sense. Yeah, so clay is very high in nutrients. Okay, it doesn't mean you're going to run outside and just start eating clay. Okay, but you can do clay drinks, and I have never seen good information saying it's something you should do every day. That's just me. I think it's something you should do for colon cleansing, a couple times a year, like for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Do it every day in a fiber drink to kind of cleanse the colon and pull a lot of poisons and toxins and stuff out of your system if you're doing a cleanse or something like that. I haven't seen a lot of good information for doing it on a daily basis. Now, if anybody knows different, let me know, but that's what I've heard, yes.
I tried it, and after a period of time, constipation set in.
Okay, well there you go. So it didn't work for you. So, but it does balance blood sugar. It is the drawing power. Let me just tell you an example. When I was doing my herb classes in Las Vegas, there was a gal who she was in our classes, and her husband got bit by a brown recluse spider, and it was on the base of his neck right here, and it swelled up bad. I mean, it started to turn and eat away the skin and get really infected, and he went to the hospital, and the doctor wanted to operate and do surgery. To get the infection out. Yeah, and but he said it's so close to his spine that we can't guarantee it might not damage his spine. So of course they wanted to find alternatives. She happened to be in this herb class, and so she asked Angela Harris, the herbalist, what she thought she could do. she has this product in there called Infection Fighter, which is just your basic immune formula. It's got echinacea and golden seal and licorice roots and things like that. And she took the Infection Fighter and she took the bentonite clay and she dumped the Infection Fighter in there and made a paste with the clay and put it right on there. In 2 days, it was less than half the size. In a week, it was completely gone. There were no traces that it was ever even there in 1 week. So it's that drawing power, okay? Pulls out toxins, pulls out poisons, whether you consume it internally or whether you use it as a poultice or a compress externally. So bug bites, bee stings, slivers you can't get out, you know, I mean, all of those types of
I got
things.
the glass in my toe.
The glass in your toe, yeah, I would absolutely try that. Yeah, it depends on how deep it is in there, but yeah, definitely draws things out.
So it has diabetes listed for blood sugar, but you're saying you wouldn't do it on a regular basis?
I wouldn't do it on a regular basis, no.
So, but you would see, if I did it, I would see something.
Well, clay's been used for diabetes. It doesn't mean that's what you would use for it, or someone else would use for it. You know, everything we're going to talk about in here is going to be good for diabetes.
Right.
So it doesn't mean you have to do them all. You know, so just pick and choose. You know, it's just if it's listed in here, it's something that historically it's been used for that purpose. Okay, does that make sense?
Well, it does, but I was just wondering, you said it's something you would use on a regular basis, and so I'm just thinking, would you like once a quarter for diabetes?
Yeah, I'd say do a colon cleanse every couple of weeks.
Right.
I mean, you think about you know, if you just think about diabetes and what it is, you know, it's excess sugar consumption. It's really as simple as that. So one of the ways to get sugar, which is a poison, out of the body, the clay would absorb that extra poison. It would provide extra fiber you would need to pull that stuff out of your colon, out of your intestinal tract, and out of your body. So yeah, you wouldn't necessarily have to do it every day, but it would be a good thing to add in, like you said, maybe once a quarter, twice a year, or something like that. Yeah.
Just real quick on the cayenne vinegar, are those two things that you don't want to do too close to sleep? Right?
Too close to sleep? You might not. Yeah, cayenne pepper, I don't think I'd do that before bed. It's pretty stimulating.
Okay.
Yeah. Especially if you're already prone to night sweats, you could be in big trouble. All right. So let's go to garlic. Garlic's another one that's just amazing for the heart. The other thing, I'd say the thing garlic's probably most well known for is its ability to fight pathogens. Okay, so bacterial infections, fungal infections, parasite infections, you know, wards off vampires. It does a little bit of everything, man. But it really is good for any type of infection. I mean, you get a cold or a flu or an infection or anything like that, garlic's hands down one of the best things to do. So again, you know, just we can mix all these things together. A little bit of cayenne, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, and you got an arsenal to combat almost anything, really.
Is it high pesticide?
What about pesticides?
Conventionally, is it high pesticide?
No.
Okay.
No. Garlic's one thing you don't really have to buy organic. I don't, anyway. I don't worry about buying garlic organic. Yeah.
If you get it growing, it spreads like everything.
Yeah, and in fact,
I need to grow.
it's great in your garden. Talking about gardening, a lot of people who garden will do a row of garlic, a row of herbs, a row of garlic, a row of herbs, and you will not have any bug problems. Now, the other thing you can do is you can take garlic and mash it up and put it in a spray bottle with some water and spray it all over your garden, and you won't have bugs either.
Is it better? Cool. I mean, noticeably better?
I honestly don't know. Garlic's cheap. I don't really worry about garlic too much. But let me stress this, though. One of the challenges with garlic, okay, is that it's best eaten how? Raw.
Yeah.
Okay, now garlic's very powerful, and a lot of people can't do it raw. You can find ways.
Yeah.
Okay, I found a drink, I have in there, if anybody wants to try it, I'll let you try it. But I have a Vitamix, and I just blend, like I blended celery, cucumber, about 5 cloves of garlic. I put a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, some turmeric, a little bit of ginger root in there, some carrot, and it blended up in my Vitamix, and I drink that all day long. And it's got some kick to it, but the greens really offset the garlic and the cayenne, amazingly. And it actually tastes really, really good. So you can find different concoctions that work for you. Angela Harris taught us a good way to take garlic, and she did this with an entire, it was either a Boy Scout or a Girl Scout troop, I don't know which. But they did garlic shooters. So what they do is they take just a little pinch of water, like a tablespoon of water, okay, and they put in a squeeze of lemon, like a half a lemon. They take a garlic press and press the garlic into it and then shoot it. Now if you do it immediately, you won't taste the garlic.
It kind of burns though. I do that with vinegar and garlic.
Yeah. So you won't taste the garlic immediately if you do that. Now, of course, you'll still have garlic breath, okay?
Yeah.
But if you press that in there and you let it sit for even 15, 20 seconds, it starts to get on fire. Okay, it starts to heat up really, really fast. So that's why they call it garlic shooter. Cause it's like back when you were in college, right? I'm just kidding. Okay, so
Sorry, question.
yes.
Just looking back at clay, it says refers to it as cell regeneration. So is that possible? Because I've been told by my doctors you cannot regenerate cells once they're damaged. That's it.
Oh, that couldn't be any further from the truth. I mean, I don't want to get into a long conversation about that, but when you break a bone, how does it heal? When you cut your skin, how does it heal?
Yeah.
That's called cell regeneration. So any doctor who says that, it's ignorance. That's different than
Definitely not.
uneducated. That's uneducated.
Right.
Not that he's not a smart man, but that's ignorance, and it's not understanding the human body. But
Well, I think they want to give you pharmaceuticals.
oh, well, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
But that's how they're trained.
Yeah.
But you don't heal from anything without cell regeneration. In fact, your body completely regenerates itself every couple of years. That's a medical fact. The cells, 50 billion new cells are regenerated every hour. 50 billion new cells. How else does the body heal? So don't listen to that.
His bones take the longest, and that's a couple years. Your bones are
Yeah,
completely
and in
replaced.
fact, when bones break and they heal, sometimes they say they're stronger than ever, right? How does that happen without cell regeneration?
What about brain cells? That's what I heard. No brain cells regenerate.
False.
And they have found that's not true.
Really?
They used to think that. but
False.
they've found
All
that's not
false.
With alcohol abuse or whatever? No?
Nope.
Wow.
Type of garlic, it says here, Oregon garlic lacks many of the healing qualities. So the ones that were listed before that, if you're going to grow your own,
Definitely.
that's got to stick to those.
Yep, definitely. Okay, let's see, what else with garlic? Yeah, just anticoagulant, so it keeps blood platelets from sticking together. Just another great benefit of the heart with taking garlic. Same thing, you can buy odorless garlic, but I think that takes a lot of the healing medicinal benefits out of it. You take the pungency, you take the bite out of it, you're going to take a lot of the healing benefits away from it. Another great thing about garlic, and I don't even know if it's on the sheet, but is the sulfur. Super high in sulfur. Garlic and onions, super high in sulfur. That's why they stink so bad. Okay, but they are amazing. One of the reasons they're so amazing for bone health. Sulfur is one of the main building blocks of bones, joints, and ligaments and tissues. So it's really going to help in speeding recovery of damaged, broken, fractured bones because of the high sulfur content. Also going to be great for all of us, but specifically us women who are more concerned about our hair, skin, and nails. Sulfur, very, very important. So garlic, definitely an anti-aging beauty product as well. And then the infections. Yeah, if you really want to use garlic medicinally, cold, flu, do a garlic shooter. Okay, be serious about it. If you have a parasite infection, do 5, 8, 10 fresh cloves of garlic every day, like in a juice drink or in a blended drink. Hit it hard, okay, and you'll have very quick benefits. A lot of people just want to do like a little half a clove, cook it up in their meal, and be like, I did garlic and it didn't heal my cold, you know. So
We have good bacteria in our stomach.
what about it?
The girl doesn't affect.
Absolutely not.
And you said the shooter was water, lemon, and garlic?
Yep. Shooters, water, lemon, and garlic. I thought this was interesting. There's a healer shortly after Hippocrates. His name was Dioscorides. He was a surgeon physician. He wrote the Materia Medica on how to use like thousands of different herbs and plants. He describes garlic using the doctrine of signatures, which we've talked about in classes in the past, how like a walnut looks like a brain, and how an avocado looks like an ovary, and a carrot looks like an eye, and these kind of things. He wrote about garlic because it had a long, hollow stalk, that it was really good for diseases of the windpipe. He also wrote of its ability to clear the arteries. He wrote this about 40 to 50 AD. Okay, so about almost 2,000 years ago. So garlic's been around a while. There's some fascinating things on garlic that you don't have here that I think are fascinating, so I'm going to mention. When the plagues ravaged Europe, the Black Death that killed 50 to 60% of all Europeans, garlic was one of the main things in something they called four thieves vinegar to keep people vulnerable from the plague. They would take large amounts of garlic so that they call it plunder the dead bodies of victims, so they could steal off the people who had died, or break into their houses and steal all their stuff or whatever. In London, the French priests, this is an infectious fever in the quarters of London, same thing. They would take the garlic and they weren't affected at all by the outbreak. Louis Pasteur even wrote about garlic's antiseptic, which is just kind of a cruel twist and irony with the whole pasteurization thing going on. But garlic oil was so popular in Russian medicine that they called it Russian penicillin. And I've talked about, like if we did oregano, we added oregano to the 7 healers and made it the 10 healers. Oregano, I think, is the most powerful natural antibiotic in existence. It knocks out everything you could ever possibly imagine. So garlic and oregano, probably your 2 most powerful natural antibiotics, okay, for knocking out any kind of infection. Let's go on. Any questions about garlic? Yeah.
So it says that it increases your urine flow. So if I do the garlic tonic, which is what, just water and garlic, is that going to make me have to use the bathroom more?
Not overly. Not overly. It's not like a diuretic that would like force you to go to the bathroom or anything like that. It's because it's so cleansing to the body. It's going to be cleansing and healing to the kidneys, so it could increase flow a little bit.
Okay, and then in the tonic, what is that? What part water and what part garlic is it?
I'm not sure. Let me see if it's in this book. We'll look afterwards because I wouldn't know exactly where to find it. Let me mention one more thing about garlic. Does anybody? Well, I don't want to ask if anybody's done this. You can do because I've done it, but I'm weird. You can do a garlic enema. Okay, and you talk about powerful for knocking out infections or parasites or anything like that. What did she call? Oh, Angela Harris used to do it with her family all the time. She has 8 kids. Okay, if they ever had something going on and they just couldn't kick it, like a cold or a flu or a fever or an infection, and they couldn't kick it, it was garlic enema time, and it worked every single time. Except her family nicknamed it the Ring of Fire because it's very, very strong. But what you do is you take like 3 or 4 cloves of garlic and you press them and you put them in water and you heat it, okay? And you just lightly boil it for like 4 or 5 minutes and then you strain it out, and then you add that water to like a quart of water and you do it in an enema. Hippocrates actually did that. That's what he'd use to break fevers in really tough cases where the fever was out of control and he couldn't break the fever, is he'd use garlic enemas. All right. Man, it's toasty in here. It's not just me, is it? So we only got a couple left. Lemon, we'll just hit it real quick. Lemon, it mentioned vitamin C, so it just made me think of it. I mean, there's just so many things, but I don't know if anybody knows the history of vitamin C, but vitamin C, going back to cayenne pepper, was actually first discovered in pepper. That's where vitamin C was discovered and all its healing benefits by, I think it was a Yugoslavian scientist. But when he separated it all the way out to ascorbic acid, to its isolated form, it didn't have any healing benefits. But that's what 95% of people are taking is ascorbic acid, which has very, very little healing benefits. You get the benefits from consuming the whole plant. And that's what he used when he discovered pepper. That's what reversed vitamin C deficiency diseases like scurvy. So lemon, very high in vitamin C, of course. The main benefit I think lemon's known for is its cleansing effect, cleansing and detoxification effect. So just a great thing to add to water. A lot of people, that's just the simple way they use lemon. They just add lemon to the water. It makes it taste good. It purifies the water. It's going to kill any bacteria in the water. It's going to cleanse and heal the body. It's going to remove mucus from the body. It's very alkalizing to the body. The most alkalizing fruit, if you want to talk about acid alkaline, what do we eat in America? Acid, acid, acid. We eat meat, dairy, sugar. Nothing with any fiber, nothing that has any alkalinity to it. So the most alkaline fruit there is lemon. And the most alkaline herb is cayenne.
Yeah.
It's not a trick question. So yeah, lemon very, very alkalizing to the system. And a lot of people are confused on that because it's acidic and
Is
this and
lime
that.
different?
Lemon's just much more beneficial. Limes are great too. I use lemons and limes interchangeably, kind of depending on what's cheaper because they're both kind of expensive. Limes are really expensive. I don't know why, but limes are great too. But lemons is what's talked about most when we talk about all these different benefits. So yeah, another one used in the master cleanse because it relieves mucosal conditions, pulls mucus out of the body, cleanses and detoxifies the tissues, oxygenates the cells. Okay, so a great antioxidant. So really brings and restores oxygen flow to the body. So again, just doing it in water is a great little trick. Great for arthritis, rheumatism, also for gout. So if you're talking about gout, apple cider vinegar with some cayenne and some lemon, and you're going to knock that bad boy out real fast.
If you squeeze the lemon beforehand, are you gonna lose a lot of the nutrients?
Yeah, it's best to do it fresh. Doesn't mean you have to.
Doesn't mean that you have to.
Best to do it fresh. Lemon water in the morning is a great thing. Just to alkalize, get your minerals, rehydrate the body. Before you drink your morning cup of coffee, do a nice cup of lemon water. Get the body hydrated first.
We'll do that with a little cayenne in it.
There you go. Yeah. Start your day off right, huh?
Yeah.
That's awesome. So olive oil. If anybody's really interested in olive oil, I've done a lot of classes at the Tasteful Olive in downtown Overland Park. Anybody been to the Tasteful Olive? Only 2 of you? Gosh. Okay, so let me tell you about the Tasteful Olive. There's a store in downtown Overland Park. I can't remember the exact address. It's 79 something Santa Fe Drive, but it's right in the old downtown Overland Park. You know where the clock tower is, old downtown Overland Park, the farmers market's down there, that main strip on Santa Fe Drive. The Culinary Institute's right across the street. There's a store there called the Tasteful Olive. Okay, owned by Gene and Jay, amazing people. I do classes there a couple times a month, and all my classes are online, so you can watch all kinds of classes on olive oil on my website if you want. But they have fresh pressed olive oils from all over the world, and it is the most amazing thing. Like, olive oil is great, and people use olive oil for a lot of things. Oh my gosh, you have no idea what olive oil can be until you go to the store, because first of all, they have from all over the world, so they have all different kinds of unique tastes and flavors. But they have infused olive oils, which means they add herbs and other things to the olive oil, so like herb infused, oregano, garlic infused. They have one that's blood orange infused. Oh my gosh, it is so amazing. And then on top of that, they have balsamic vinegars from all over the world. They have chocolate, vanilla, pear, blueberry. Who else has been there? What other kinds do they have? Pear, raspberry, strawberry, lime. They're unbelievable. They're unbelievable. And then you combine them, the olive oil with the balsamic vinegars. I mean, you don't like to eat salad? Who cares what you put in your salad? It's going to taste good when you're going to put this stuff on it.
I drank balsamic straight.
Yeah.
It's that good.
And it's great just in smoothies. You add it to smoothies and it makes it taste great.
Do they have the apple cider vinegar?
No, they don't have apple cider vinegar. They have a sesame oil there. They have a couple unique things, but mostly the olive oils and balsamic vinegar, and they're great. The chefs love them. The Culinary Institute loves them.
Is it important to be unfiltered olive oil?
Oh yeah, everything they have is cold pressed,
And it's
unfiltered.
cloudy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's not refined. It's not pressed. It's
Okay.
yeah. It's the real deal. Because it, you know, like you were talking about. I think you mentioned the food labels sometimes.
Right.
There was a big issue with olive oil where they were putting rapeseed oil because the FDA was letting them get away with it. Yeah, they were saying it was 100% extra virgin olive oil, and it was like 50-50 cheap olive oil and rapeseed oil, which is canola oil, which is garbage. So you have to be really careful. You don't know what you're getting. So you got to be really careful when you read the labels. The Tasteful Olive, it's going to be a little more expensive than what you buy at Whole Foods, but it's totally worth
Why
it.
is it so high? I mean, it's high anywhere. Olive oil.
Yeah.
If you knew the process that it took to press and make fresh olive oil, yeah, you'd probably have an appreciation for it. It's a lot of work.
The only place
Really
I
is.
thought cheap was in Greece.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of work. So some of the benefits of olive oil. So this is the only one that's it's an oil. It's a fat. It's an essential fatty acid. I don't want to get just crazy into that, but just in a nutshell, you know, people are scared of fats. We need good, healthy fats. It's going to have omega-3s, omega-6s. It doesn't have, olive oil doesn't have a lot of those. It's actually got more monounsaturated fats. It's not going to be high in 3s like your fish or your flax. It's not going to be high in 6s like your hemp oil or your pumpkin oil or your sunflower seed oil. But it's got nutrients in it that are amazing for anti-cancer, anti-tumor, for generating hormones, hormone balancing effects. All the benefits you get from good, healthy cholesterol, you're going to get from olive oil. I'm not a fan of diets, as you guys all know, but if you do want to follow a diet, follow the Mediterranean diet. Olive oil and fish and fresh fruits and vegetables, and it's not like some kind of a rocket science hard diet, okay? It's just the way people eat over there. It's as simple as that. And they eat tons of olive oil, and they're healthy, and their skin looks good, and they have very low rates of heart disease and very low rates of cancer because they eat fresh foods, and olive oil is a main staple of that. Olive oil is great because you can mix it with so many different things. You can use it as the base of your salad dressing. You can use it as a base for topical application. Okay, so for fungal infections, for example, oregano, amazing antifungal. Take some oregano oil, drop it in your olive oil, and use it topically. Okay, use it in your hair. Olive oil is great for the hair. Just 1,000,001 uses. I was telling my mom the other day, I don't know if she's going to try it, but she likes a salve that's made with comfrey and plantain and olive oil. A salve that I actually made at the Tasteful Olive in a class last fall. And super duper easy to make. You can make it in your crock pot like in a day. But the other way you can do it is, I said, get a glass container, a clear glass container, and fill it with good olive oil, okay, and then infuse it, okay. So we have comfrey growing in our garden. The stuff looks like it's from Jurassic Park. I mean, it's like, the leaves aren't they like this big?
Yeah, they're huge.
It's huge. It's huge. And so take some of those leaves, kind of chop them up, just throw them in there. Take some plantain, which grows everywhere wild. Take some of those leaves, throw it in there. And what you do is you set it in the sun for a few hours every day, kind of shake it, set it in the sun for a few hours, and do that every day for 1 or 2 weeks. And you have comfrey plantain infused olive oil, which you can use to heal anything you can possibly imagine. Any rash, any fungal infection, any sunburn, you can heal hemorrhoids, you can, I mean, it's endless. It's endless. And that's just one example. I mean, you can take dandelion and put it in the olive oil and have dandelion olive oil, which is great for the skin and beauty, and it's high in lecithin and breaks down fat in the body, and just, you know, olive oil is a great medium for so many things, okay? And great for the liver and great for the gallbladder. Anybody's had the pleasant experience of doing a liver gallbladder flush? You use olive oil. It makes those stones flush out of the body. Olive oil is great for that as well. And then the key thing that they really harp on over at the Tasteful Olive is the antioxidant benefits. The different acids in it, oleic acid, the monounsaturated fats, super high antioxidant content, so very protective of the heart, oxidative damage, protective of the skin, kind of like a natural sunscreen from the inside out when you take high antioxidants.